So before I showed you a couple of wiring looms I had here on the bench, both of them have been a bit messed up. They're like 25 years old plus now, so people have got to them, changed them, done stuff, ruined stuff, plugs have melted, bits and pieces, but thankfully, being the CBR parts hoarder I remembered I had another loom, and this one's actually pretty much perfect as far as everything being there. There's a couple of plugs that are needing changing and stuff like that, but what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to go right through it, but I'm going to do a bit of a time lapse as I'm doing it, is to show you what's involved in bringing a loom back from old to new my way. Then I'm going to be putting it back into the bike probably tomorrow, and it's not too far off running again. Just fill it up with coolant and kick it in the gut to see what happens. But I'll spin around and show you what's going on here. So this is the loom I've got. It's a bit dirty, as you can see. It's done some mileage. Everything's got a bit of a haze of brown on it. There's bits of loose tape hanging off here and there. That's my heater in the background making a big hum because it's freezing in here. But yeah, as you can see, it's all just a bit tatty here and there. As you can see, typical rectifier regulator plug is all burnt out. You want to check the actual rectifier regulator as well, make sure that's not cooked inside too. There's some pretty good checks on YouTube as to how to test them as well. I'll put the link to one below for you. There's no point me doing it again because several people have done it. This plug here is stuffed on the inside, so the spade terminal won't stay in there, which for me it's not a big problem, but it's annoying as hell. So I'm going to replace that with another plug, because I just happen to have a good one here, spare one from an old loom that I've chopped up. Same with the rectifier regulator plug. I do have another good one from a loom, but I also have a brand new aftermarket one which you can buy. So I'll decide which one I use in a minute, but the good thing is they're all color coded and everything, but they're pretty easy to swap if you know how to solder and do stuff like that. As my light here decides it wants to go into disco mode. Anyhow, a couple of quick suggestions of things that you can use. I like to use brake cleaner, just clean stuff up and just wipe things down. That with a bit of a microfiber rag. Brake cleaner is good because it doesn't really leave residue. And also contact cleaner, and that's good for spraying inside your plugs. And I like to spray the plugs and everything because they're all old and dirty and stuff like that. And then what you can do is get yourself like a little old paintbrush or something like that, and once you've cleaned it, go like that. I mean, you can put plastic rejuvenation stuff on them and bits and pieces, but for this bike it's just going to be kept simple. Another thing is that these plug shields here, they're a bit icky looking, but here's one I prepared earlier. That's a really quick clean up just with brake cleaner and a rag. Probably clean it even more if you use a bit of soap and water, but they do come back and can look pretty good again, so don't fret with them. Another thing here, starter relay. See, it's all a bit corroded and crap inside there. That is also something I can clean up with a brush and contact cleaner. These do have like a rubber cover over them, so I'm going to rip off the rubber cover, clean everything, put it all back together. These clean up pretty well too. It's just a bit of grease and crap on there from all the years of mistreatment. This one's a bit broken. You can replace them, and there are aftermarket ones around as well. I think I've got another one which might be a bit better than this, which I'll use. But then stuff like the switch controls and stuff like that, these just depending on if you want to completely refurbish them, which some people do, or just give it a birthday and a clean and then put some plastic rejuvenation stuff on them. But my main goal for this loom is to just tidy it up, not to completely restore it. Tidy it up, make sure everything's working, and get rid of ugly stuff like those. Nobody wants to see that crap on a wiring loom, and luckily on my other loom it does have the original plug, so I'll be ditching them and putting it back to standard, because those crimp terminals look like crap. Even though no one's ever going to see them, I'll know they're there. what a mess. It's a stupid drag car in there. That is going to be on HoonTV soon. Anyway, here's the bike. It is running. I had it running for a bit. The carbies definitely need a rebuild. For the meantime, I'm going to put the standard carbies on it, so I'm just going to run a rebuild kit through them. So, got them off, but I did just receive, finally, the fairings for it. Now, I've gone completely against what I said before, and I have bought Chinese fairings just because they're too hard to get and too expensive. As expected, they're pretty good. They're not brilliant, but they're not terrible either. So let's just run with it. I think paint-wise they look pretty good though, and I did request that they do them without any logos or stickers on them, which is kind of cool too. So I've had ones that are pretty bad. These are probably on the better end of the scale for press molded Chinese fairings. So yeah, I think it'll end up looking not too bad, but as a street bike, they always paint them pretty well, which I'm pretty happy with. See, nice reflection of some ugly guy there. But other than that, the bike's all done. I'm still trying to chase up a couple of hoses to get rid of those horrible red silicone hoses. I've got nothing against silicone hoses, but on a street bike it looks a bit funky. Although the fairings are red and black, so I might be able to get away with it. But other than that, it's all getting there. Exhaust all sorted. I had it running the other day. It's got that sort of Vance and Hines rasp about it, which is a bit different, but we'll run with that one for the meantime. I do like the look of that muffler, it is pretty cool. But the one thing on the Fireblade that does make these a bit weird is because it's an oval shaped muffler, the flange hangs out further, but that's just an OCD thing. But other than that, this is where we're at with it. I can't wait to sink my teeth into this one here. This is definitely getting covered on HoonTV. But right here in the back of the ute, all carefully laid out so nothing's touching its other fairings. Are all of these ones here. I'm going to start ripping into and fitting these over the weekend.